Joining me today is a guest who needs no introduction, but we shall grant him one nonetheless. Erick Schonfeld, you've been a writer for Fortune, Business 2.0. You've won countless awards, which I can't remember without the help of a teleprompter.
I can count them.
You can count them? We'll probably get into that.
Not countless. But.
We'll get to them. You are currently the co-editor at TechCrunch. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
Let's just dive into it. 2 years and a month ago, you joined TechCrunch. So I'm curious about how that actually played out. What was the discussion you had with Michael Arrington and why you chose to move over from traditional media to TechCrunch?
Sure. So for people in your audience, if they don't know what TechCrunch is, it's the biggest technology blog out there. And it was started by Michael Arrington in his house back in 2005. At that time, I was editor-at-large at a Time Inc. magazine that is now defunct. It's called Business 2.0. And I ended up being sort of the main blogger there. Through that, we met. We started linking to each other. I was always reading his blog. I started to invite him to conferences and roundtables that I was organizing at the time. We knew each other that way, through that connection. And in the summer of 2007, he reached out to me to see if I'd be interested to come join him. So I'd already been at Time Inc. for about 14 years, and I'd done the whole magazine thing. I had a pretty good run there, I thought. But I was already starting being pulled over to the blog side of the world. And I saw that as my main job because I already saw that I was getting a lot more interesting leads for other stories, that I was getting a lot more recognition, that I was really sort of, more part of the conversation, right? So it was very appealing to me to kind of leave that aside and start from a clean slate at a media company that didn't have that baggage. And, I decided I wanted to try to build a new media company, and I could either try to do it on my own, or I could, I could join Michael, who'd already, at that point, TechCrunch was already well established. And since then, we've grown it quite nicely. So now we have six writers on just the TechCrunch brand itself. For the company as a whole, we have about 20 employees, and that includes people in development and different blogs. There's a whole network of blogs. There's TechCrunch, the main blog. There's Crunch Gear, which is a gear blog. There's Mobile Crunch. There's TechCrunch Europe, which is a regional blog in Europe. There's Crunchbase, which is our database of companies, which from nowhere now has thousands of companies, and we have all this information about fundings and M&A acquisitions. It's all free. It's all open data that anyone can download, and we have APIs. People are building other websites based on this data. So there's a lot of different side projects as well.
Not bad, not bad. Now, what's been the biggest surprise since you've been at TechCrunch?
The whole way of running, reporting and writing about a story really changes. The way that we do things now is, you have a new piece of information or a new piece of news. Every post just kind of pushes the story forward. And there's this whole interactive element where you'll post something, you maybe have partial information, you confirm it, or you feel good enough about it to put it online, and you characterize it as such, and then that brings the real information to you. That makes the company respond, or that brings the person who really knows the story out of the woodworks, and then that is this iterative process that you sort of put everything out there for display.